Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Rob Wallace. This is the Zero Noise podcast where we engage in progressive discussions about music, life, and everything in between with our guests. This podcast is brought to you by Grove Studios, a 24/7 artist and production workspace. Whether rehearsing for your next show, producing a new song, doing a podcast, or shooting a video, Grove Studios is set up for the independent creator. Right now, Grove is offering subscriptions that can help you get your project, the next creation, cracking. To learn more, visit grovestudios.space. This podcast is produced by Project Plugin, Mindstate Marketing, and shared with all streaming platforms through Captivate. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe wherever you're hearing this or seeing the podcast. Again, I'm Rob Wallace. I'm an educator and a musical anthropologist. My life's work is to lift music and hip-hop specifically as both the subtext and the product of American culture, a medium of liberation and a soundtrack for the search for freedom, collectively and individually. I regard the hip-hop album as a primary source of critical discourse about life in America by those who create it. Therefore, we don't only discuss albums that are commonly regarded as classics or close to classics. I want to know about the music that changed the way our guests thought. Along the way, we'll explore how music speaks to who we are and who we desire to be. Art is not valuable if it don't challenge, if it doesn't challenge, if it doesn't ask, and if it doesn't respond. We acknowledge that music decorates time, as art decorates space. I ask dope people to visit with me, talk about who they are, who they've been, and what they do. I also ask them to be ready to talk about an album that played a role in them becoming them. You will not hear the music we will discuss for many reasons, but you will never hear it the same afterwards. Therefore, this is a music podcast, but it is a people's podcast. And today, the person is Lando from the legendary Hip Hop Lab.
Man, so kind.
Welcome to the pod, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And the album is College Dropout, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So my first question to you, let's first be completely transparent. Mm-hmm. Lando was in my class.
Yep, yes, sir.
In 6th grade, wearing the white shirt and the black Dickies.
Yep.
On the daily.
Yep, every day.
Absolutely.
Tucked in.
What do you, I guess first, before we get to that, who is Lando?
Man, who is Lando? Man, that question can go so many different ways. Lando is an influencer, somebody who shapes the culture, somebody who, business owner, CEO, you know what I'm saying? Person that grew up in Detroit, you know what I'm saying?
Where you
Entrepreneur. On the west side, Schoolcraft in Greenfield.
Wow. You talked about being an influencer. Mm-hmm. What do you think, up to this point, what do you think your impact has been on Detroit hip-hop?
I feel like I changed the way that I had a big influence in the way that the change and pace of how everybody is receiving Detroit music right now.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you think that because, not necessarily just because of your effort, but the efforts of, everybody always talks about at what point Detroit is going to blow up.
Yeah.
But it sounds like from what you're saying, the influence of Detroit on the landscape of music is already happening.
Yeah, it's happening right now.
You believe that?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Most definitely.
Wow. So I guess we'll talk about how you started. And Detroit hip hop at this point, from what I see, is a couple of different things. You have more of what's called, I guess, what you would consider to be like D-boy hip hop.
Yeah.
You also have like hip hop based ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you think those two scenes, so to speak, can interact? Like, is there ever an opportunity for them to interact, you think?
Well, I gotta start by saying the D-boy street side, like, I'm a product of that.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with, you know what I'm saying, them that's over there that do that, but like, I don't know. It feel like the side that the other side, like, I don't know, they feel like they always like mad at me or got some chip on their shoulder against me for some reason, you feel me? So I kind of just stood away from trying to lend my hand. Like, maybe they gonna have to come out with it. They gonna have to be somebody to come up like me on some hip hop level type thing to help their situation, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as Detroit, like, you know what I'm saying, those artists in particular.
Okay. So let's take a minute and we're gonna rewind the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where'd you go before you? Shout out to Detroit Service Learning Academy.
Yeah, man. You know, shout out to that. With the YMCA before that.
The YMCA before that. Now, when did you come? When did you come to DSLA? What grade were you in?
I came in 5th grade.
In 5th grade.
Yeah.
And do you remember who your 5th grade teacher was?
Yeah, for sure, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis, who ended up being the principal. Still in the game. Shout out Mr. Davis.
For sure.
And then you came to 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I want to say, now in 0304, you were a 5th grader, and then you came and was in my class with all the boys.
Yeah.
In 0405.
Yeah.
So I gotta play you something. Somebody got something to say to you. I want you to tell me who this is. You ready?
Oh, you got something like that?
I had to get ready for you.
That's fire.
Here you go.
Hey, Philando. This is Miss Darden, your 6th grade ELA teacher.
Wow.
I just wanted you to know how proud I am of you. I'm glad to see that you're using your talents and gifts for positivity. One thing I remember about you, that you never minded sticking out and doing your own thing. Do you remember when you came to the talent show and tried out and was doing this crazy dance? And we were like, what is he doing? But what I can appreciate about you is that you didn't mind making your own lane and just doing you. We need more people out here just making their own lane. Shout out to Mr. Wallace for staying connected and keeping me in the loop. I hope that you guys are all doing well. Keep repping our DSLA legacy.
That's fire. Wow.
So what I want you to know about that time was I was the teacher, you were the student.
Yeah.
But it was when I came over back to JA, to Junior Academy, to the middle school, was when I kind of started making the transition to understanding what my position was in the school.
Yeah.
So you contributed to me learning about how important my job was. And I'm gonna tell you why. You wasn't a perfect student.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of our students weren't. But you shine because you had a lot of social intelligence. You had a lot of charisma. You had a lot of confidence about who you were. And one of the things that I learned, because I was still relatively a young teacher. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think when you was in my class, that was like my 4th or 5th year teacher.
Yeah.
And I learned that everybody don't make moves at the same time. Everybody don't operate the same way. You was never disrespectful to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But your intelligence to us was manifesting itself in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? What do you remember about that time?
Man, it was a very important time. Like, one of the things that I really remember is every day we used to come into your class, you had this thing like what happened today, or like the history of today, or what happened on this date. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's like even to this day, like every day I check what's going on for the day. You feel me? Like that shit contributes to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the first thing I do in the morning. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you remember this, but like you introduced us, like you made us go to the computer lab and made us pull up Wikipedia. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Like that was like something we had to do for the day. But like that shit like changed my life. Like even right now, a song from 2000 to like now, you can't name. If you name the song, I can tell you what year it came out.
Wow.
Like we can almost try. We could try to go for like 4 or 5 real quick.
What year did Pop, Lock, and Drop It come out? I remember kids used to be on it.
06. 06.
Who made it though?
Huey and
Oh man.
Yeah.
What about oh man, you caught me off guard with that one. What about what about Old Boy?
Old Boy, Cameron Old Boy?
Yes.
02.
Sure did.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What about Gold Digger by Kanye West?
04. Might be 05.
05.
Definitely 106.
106. It was 05. That's amazing. And so that's the thing. When you were in my class, I was you.
Yeah.
When I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you how. I used to sit in the barbershop with my pops, and I used to read the top 20 singles in Jet to everybody, and I was like 2 or 3 years old. So I always followed music the same way. Just like last week, in the last podcast, I was talking about the best years in hip-hop to me was 91, 88, 96, 95. I've been getting cussed out about 95 all year. All week. And 2003.
The best years in hip-hop?
Yes. Yes.
That's understandable.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
It's definitely debatable. But I was you. I wrote messy as hell.
Yeah, right. Sloppy.
But absolutely.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to, of course I ain't trying to clown you, but keeping it a buck.
Yeah.
Your ideas was clear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you had the ability to express what you were learning in a way that made me say, let me take a step back and say, let me make sure I'm doing everything to meet the needs of everybody. And that's like the benchmark of a veteran teacher. So I would not be here 8 years a teacher, 10 years a principal, that continued to push that to teachers, and then moving into a program where I'm working with kids from low-income first-generation backgrounds to get them in college. But this ain't about me.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your family. I remember you stayed with your grandmother.
Yeah.
And your grandmother did not play with you.
Nope.
Tell me about your grandma.
My grandma, man. I stayed with my father's mother, which is my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was staying on the West Side Schoolcraft in Greenfield. That her and my granddaddy played a real big role in. My grandma was the whole reason I even came to the school. You feel me? Like she was just doing all type of research. She didn't want me to be in DPS no more, but she wanted me to go to school in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So she found that there, and my grandma, one of my biggest motivations. She had a tax service. You know what I'm saying? She was running a business for the longest. You feel me? So I got to see her running business every day as an example. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's just all around great person, great lady.
Absolutely. I remember she came to parent-teacher conference. Mm-hmm. She was coming to check up on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she was just the sweetest lady ever, man.
Yeah.
So respect to her. But like I said, you always had a charisma about you, where I remember we used to talk a lot. Me, Darden, Delcourt. I think you had Mr. Hines. Did you have Mr. Hines?
Yeah, I definitely had Mr. Hines.
Mr. Hines,
never forget Mr. Hines.
Mr. Hines. Shout out to Mr. Hines.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Hines. He made me hate math for the rest of my school career.
No, Mr. Hines. No.
Shout out to him, though. Him
Mr. Hines.
Mr. Cummins.
Yep, Mr. Hines, the principal out in Detroit right now. But you always, I was always curious about, because you had such an understanding of how people operated, it always made me wonder about, what may have been distracting you from doing what you needed to do in school. Was it anything that was, what did you feel like you needed when you were that age? What did you not have that you needed?
And you know what I'm saying? And with me being a daddy, I got a lot of understanding, you know what I'm saying? Me and my daddy got a real close relationship. That's my guy, you feel me? He played a real big role into me maintaining the hip-hop lab, you feel me?
Right.
But I really just wanted a relationship with my dad for the most part, you feel me? I was real depressed. Like, coming to school was my favorite thing to do, you feel me?
Amen.
Because I was depressed at the crib, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of, like, me being older now, I realize how good I had it. But at the end, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? You looking at what other people got. Your life might not be going the way that you want it to go. You feel me? I'm yearning for my father at the same time. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, the best thing really about growing up around that time was just, you know what I'm saying, being with my uncle, going to school for real. Cause at home life it just went too, like, it was stable because I had my grandparents, but you know what I'm saying? I still had my mom and my daddy. I wanted to do a lot more. You feel me?
I said I put an album out in January, and the last song it's an EP. The last song is called Expire Expended, like Dying Empty. Like, give out everything you got, because when you go, you know what I'm saying, you will have expended yourself.
Yeah.
And I said on there, I was thinking about you and I was thinking about the rest of the students. I said, I'm decorating time. Luck can't compensate for grind. Dug the battle lines. How dare a nigga hate on mine? I chose a different path, lesson plans, reading math. Life was hard outside that building. There we made them laugh. To think how bad I wanted strangers just to take a note when it's a couple thousand saying that Wallace the GOAT. You'll be amazed at the things that love provoked. He ghetto stole a coat, but left it by Big Wallace, though. So I recognize the impact that I had on the kids that was there, because it was peace. I mean, bro, like all of the stories that I heard, I talk to our kids all the time.
Yeah.
And they tell me now, you know, I was going through sexual abuse when I was in your class, and you didn't even know. And it just makes me that much more full about the fact that I tried to be positive all the time.
Yeah, no, facts.
So to see you where you are, and you still deal with shit.
Yeah,
you still dealing with a lot of shit.
For sure.
But the fact that you transcending all of that, it just make my heart melt every time. And then to see you become a pops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So tell me about, we gonna kind of go back to that space, but I want to know about being a pops, but you left DSLA, you went to high school. Tell me about high school.
Well, this a lot of people don't know. Like I actually created the hip hop lab my 8th grade year at DSLA. You feel me?
With Mr. Enox now? Was Enox there? Who was your 8th grade teacher?
Yep, Enox was there. Yep. But it was like kind of like some shit I was doing at the crib though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like it was corny at the time. You feel me? Like, I'm like, man, I ain't about to be blogging and shit, man. I'm trying to rap. You feel me? This shit lame as hell.
Right.
And I came up with I literally remember like my summer after graduating from high school. I'm in my grandma, not my grandma that I grew up with, but my mama grandma. I'm in her basement trying to figure out what the fuck I'm about to call this website and shit. I came up with the hip hop lab. I got the searching and I ain't see that shit nowhere else. Right. So I went on GoDaddy and bought the domain name and shit.
8th grade.
8th grade. You know what I'm saying? But when I was going to high school, and once I told my daddy about it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got like an on-again, off-again type of relationship. But he was like, once I told him about it, he kind of almost couldn't believe that I had the name. You know what I'm saying? We was going back and forth on that for the longest. And then like 6 months went past, and he was like, I was doing interviews like, I was doing over the phone interviews with like some big people, like in my 8th grade, like summer. Like I interviewed like Manny Fresh, like a couple people, like Lil Chucky from Young Money. I interviewed like Lil Twist, like people that was little popping around the industry that time. I had ended up connecting with somebody through Twitter, like a little media person. Like once I was going to high school, I'm like, man, fuck that shit. My daddy called me like 6 months later, like, what happened to the hip hop lab shit? I was like, I don't know. I think I owe some money on GoDaddy or something. I ain't tripping on that shit though. Like I'm a freshman in high school. You feel me? My focus is completely off of that shit. Right. So he was like, man, just give me your GoDaddy account information. I'm like, sure. You feel me? Gave him the information. And he was just paying for it the whole time to keep the name. You know what I'm saying? The whole time I was in school. But leaving from middle school to that's what I did. Transferring, you know what I'm saying? I was out of school for like, I didn't even start high school until maybe like December. Okay. Cause it was a big transitional period in my life. Like this was the first time that I didn't stay with my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents moved to North Carolina. Okay. So I'm staying with my dad for the first time in my life. You feel me? Right. And it was just a whole different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He tried though. I got a lot of love for my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Growing up and being a daddy now, but it wasn't really working out. It was a, you know what I'm saying, a challenging time for me for sure. And originally, I had went to Inkster. And it didn't end up working out. Okay. I had to wake up in the morning every day and come living on Schoolcraft in Greenfield. I had to catch a bus early, like wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, you feel me, to go to school. And it just wasn't working out. I had a little altercation that happened out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And after that, my mama had tapped in with me and was like, I'm about to you're gonna come stay with me. You feel me? So now it was like a complete culture shock because Like real, I didn't even know the East Side existed.
Okay, so she was on the East Side.
Yeah, but like I didn't even know what the East Side was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And up until this point, everything that was Gucci or Louis Vuitton, you feel me? I thought anybody who had on anything Gucci or Louis Vuitton, I just thought they had bought it out the gas station.
Right.
Because I never seen. Every time I seen this shit, it was in the gas station.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never been to Somerset and seen the stores, you feel me? I never seen this shit before. Nobody I know got none of this shit on, you feel me? Like, I was seeing rollies and chains and shit.
Right.
I'm thinking, if they got a chain on, I'm like, bro, that bitch gotta be, I see all them bitches in the beauty supply, you feel me? In the gas station. I ain't see no jewelry store. I ain't know what Hutch was or Gold Sun, you feel me? None of that shit.
Right.
So, I'm going there. And that's when I go to Roseville High School, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I feel like me going to DSLA and me going to Roseville was like some of the best shit that could happen to me. Like, I feel like some of the best shit that could have happened to me ever.
Praise God.
My first day walking into school, like one of my best friends to this day, I didn't know the nigga then. Mm-hmm. He tongue, as soon as I walk in, I look to the left, he tonguing him and this white girl just going at it in the hallway, just going at it. I'm like, dog, hell no, what the fuck is going on, dog? Right. For real? This how y'all getting down to here? Right. Like, man, y'all is tripping. Like, man, I might like it here. Right. Man, I end up, it's like, it's people from all different ethnicities and religions, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it was a beautiful experience, man. I was pursuing music there, and you know, this is a beautiful experience. Like, I did the regular high school thing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I was driving from Schoolcraft in Greenfield or Southfield, you know what I'm saying, to Roseville.
10 mile.
Yeah. 13 mile of grass shit.
Right. Whoa. Out there by that Guitar Center that's out there.
And I ain't got no license, no registration, no insurance. Right. I'm just riding up 8 Mile every day, thanking God that I made it, you feel me?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you continue to grow Hip Hop Lab. Yeah. You kind of pick it back up, I guess. And
No. After that, I graduated high school, went to college.
Okay, and where'd you go?
I went to KVCC.
Okay.
Kalamazoo Valley Community College.
Okay.
Some bullshit. Oh my God. Some bullshit.
Okay. I didn't know that you went to community college.
Yeah.
I thought you came out and started working.
Nah, cause it was some little bullshit that had happened at the crib. Like, once I had graduated, my mama was like, yeah, I don't even want you to be around none of this shit going on. You gotta go to school. Mm-hmm. Go to school 2 hours away in Kalamazoo. And this is some shit that I ain't never even said before. This is some shit that fucked with me.
That's why we are
day,
here.
dog.
That's why we here.
Man, I'm telling you, when I was right before I went to school, I had a laptop. I had this laptop since I was probably like in 7th grade. You feel me? I got all type of shit on this laptop. I'm about to go to like shit. I'm trying to get money together. You feel me? I'm trying to. Or I go pawn that bitch for $100, bro. I'm so fucked up. I pawned that bitch for $100, bro. Wow. I'm so fucking mad. Like, and now I'm up in Kalamazoo. I ain't got no license, no registration, no insurance, but I'm still driving to class every day. I'm not trying to drive to Detroit. You feel me? Right. Like, it's gonna be just my luck. I end up getting flicked. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I finally end up. So I went to college, and long story short about the college shit, I ain't fuck with that shit. It was a complete and utter waste of my time. One of the biggest mistakes of my life, you feel me? I went there, I was doing little extra things, you feel me? I shouldn't have been doing, you know what I'm saying? Right. Tools and fuels. And I'm like, man, I'm about to get off it. I'm gonna try to buckle down. But like you said, bro, I ain't never been no good student like that. Like, it just wasn't.
That ain't what I said, though. No, I ain't say that. I ain't say that. I just said you was motivated. You were motivated by different things. Yeah. You learned differently. Yeah. It didn't mean that you couldn't have did it.
But the grades things wasn't for me. Okay. Like the grading system, it was always stacked against me, I feel like. Okay. So
that's fair.
I get a job though.
Right.
I'm like, I'm about to try hard, you feel me? Try to go to, you know what I'm saying? All my teachers love me, just same thing as me, you know what I'm saying? It was all good. Right. I dropped the dresser on my shoulder my first day working, the first hour. Within the first hour of me, I'm about to get a legit job. I'm working at Court Furniture in Kalamazoo. The first hour of me working on the job, they drop a dresser on my shoulder and my shoulder pop out of place. I'm fucked up. I'm mad as hell. They say we about to put you to sleep and pop your shit back into place. You feel me? You gonna have to. The first they told me they was gonna have to do surgery. Long story short, afterward there's a big ass thing on my arm where shit had to stay straight like this with like hold my fingers and shit. My daddy had came up there, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out some shit to do, cause shit, this school shit ain't for me.
Right.
I'm not about to be able to do no hard labor no more. You feel me? Cause my shoulder fucked up.
Right.
I was like, man, you still got that hip hop lab domain shit? He was like, yeah, shit, I can use the login and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kicked it off. Okay. That was the kickoff for me coming back to the city and hopping into it.
Okay, and what did that look like? Did you start immediately just interviewing people and posting it on YouTube?
Well, the first thing I did, I was interviewing people over the phone, cause you remember Antoine?
Antoine Jones? Light skin with funny colored eyes?
Yeah.
Shout out to Antoine Jones and his brother?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's still my guy. That's still my guy. He making music now, but he had started rapping, and he had connected me with somebody who was rapping and around the time that was hot. So I ended up talking to them on the phone. We did a little phone interview. Then the phone interviews got to popping. And then a rapper named Yaya Jordan.
Okay. All right.
Like, he doing like 60 years right now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
So he had just got out of prison. And I seen he was on Twitter. So I just hit him on Twitter. I was like, man, can we get an interview popping? You feel me? He was like, yeah, pull up right now. Puritan, Greenfield, Puritan, you feel me?
Right.
Send me the address in the DM. I called somebody. I ain't never really worked no camera or nothing, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? So I just called my man who got a camera. I'm like, bro, you pull up and shoot this interview?
Right.
It's like 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
You feel me? Like, shit, I'm trying to convince this nigga to come. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hell no. So we pull up on Puritan, do the interview. That was the start of it all. You feel me?
Right
there, that's what kicked it off.
And then you started doing, you was doing interviews and things of that nature. I bumped heads with you at a charity event with Andre Drummond that was at DEPSA. I got the picture. Don't make me look for it.
I forgot about that.
And I hadn't seen you between you leaving DSLA and then.
Yeah.
And we talked, and you had a camera.
Yeah.
And you was like, yeah, I'm just trying to do my thing, this, that, and the third. Yeah. And you told me to check for Hip Hop Lab, and I subscribed. And so I just continued to see you doing these interviews. Mm-hmm. And I ain't gonna lie. One of the first thoughts I had was, Lord, just keep my man. Because I knew you was in the mud.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever, and Lord, I ain't a street dude, but I respect the streets.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation when you was doing interviews where you feared for your life? I mean, other than the 4:30 with my man, I know that was kind of rattling, but that was in the beginning. But have you ever felt like, I don't know if I'm walking up out this motherfucker?
With the interviews, nah. Okay. I ain't never felt like that with no interview. You feel me? So one time I was doing an interview and where I was doing it, I got shot up.
Oh.
So I wasn't fearing for my life before I did the interview, but afterwards.
Right.
But like the video shoots where I was really like, man, after this, dog, like, shit. I hope the ATF don't kick in this motherfucker. Like, shit, you feel me? Shit. Mm-hmm. So I team like a nigga that shot a video down there everywhere. But my first YouTube channel got deleted though.
I was gonna get to that because you had an interview with me when I was first out at Rouge.
Yeah.
And you came to visit me at Ramp, and I ended up using, I shouldn't even tell you this, I ended up using a clip for a beat that I had made. Mm-hmm. And I went back like, man, I gotta pull that, I gotta make sure I pull that audio back out, and I couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. So you got all these interviews up, this, that, and the third, and then your stuff got pulled down. Why it get pulled down?
Man, somebody made a fake Hip Hop Lab channel. I reported to YouTube about the channel, but I didn't reply to the email that they sent me with a corporate email, so they deleted both channels.
And we talking literally at least 400 videos.
Oh, no.
It wasn't that many?
No, it was more than that. You're talking about like 800, 850, some shit like that.
But you still had your name.
Yeah.
You still had...
But... This is why this was like, it was one of the worst things that ever happened. It was one of the best things.
That's the way it always worked out.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, at that time, I was so content with, like, I had ended up renting the house from my uncle on the same block that I grew up on. Mm-hmm. You feel me? I got the house to myself. I got a car. Like, shit. I could wake up and pretty much, you know what I'm saying, I'm living in the hood and I'm content with what's going on. You feel me? I'm like, I'm making $2,500 a month. I'm like, can't nobody tell me shit.
Right.
It's $2,500. Like, you feel me? I could just sit here every day, shoot a couple videos, you feel me? Do a couple interviews.
Right.
You feel me?
How much was you shooting videos for back then, by the way?
$200. $200. I would pull up to Linwood, nigga. Motherfucking Gratiot, Gunston, East. You got that 200? Oh shit. You wanna do a couple locations? Shit,
right.
give me 400.
Right.
Like shit, if I was making $600 a day, nigga, I was really happy as hell with that. Yeah. But it's like, imagine that. All right, I'm like, I got my whole life set up, everything. Then it's just like, shit, I'm back at zero.
Right.
Shit, it ain't no check coming next. Ain't no $2,500 coming next month. You know? Like it ain't nothing coming next month. And then, not to mention all these motherfuckers who done paid you for videos and your channel is gone.
Oh.
Like shit, you thought niggas wasn't on my ass about that shit?
So you was dropping them all on their channel, but
I was dropping all on my channel.
You was dropping them all on your channel.
Yeah.
But you wasn't simultaneously dropping it on theirs. They didn't even really want to deal with it.
That wasn't a thing even back then. Niggas weren't plus they wasn't making their own channel. That shit just start cracking all around this bitch.
You ain't had no hard copies of their stuff or nothing.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I wasn't thinking like that. Like shit, YouTube forever.
Right.
And then at this point, I'd had this channel since 2008.
Right.
You feel me? I'm like, this bitch ain't going nowhere.
What year was this? Like 15?
This is 16, October.
8 years, man. So what did you do about it?
Well, the first thing I did, I ain't gonna lie. The first thing I did, I cried. No cap. I cried like a motherfucker. And then I had one more YouTube check. I had one last YouTube check coming. I'm talking about my man. I had this last YouTube check coming. I'm like, dog, I'm about to fly to the YouTube headquarters, dog. Fuck this shit. I'm about to take this last check. I'm like, nigga, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to fly back, nigga. I'm about to take this last bit of money that I got and go to the headquarters, bro. Go chop it up with their ass. You feel me?
Right.
Man, I ain't take my goofy ass out there and go do that shit. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on. I'm glad I did, dog.
But like I said, you still, like, you went through a rough time. You still had your name, though.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you built another one.
Yeah, that was, and then somebody who I've been working with, a dude named Hard Work Jig.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He currently incarcerated.
Okay.
When I was working with him, it was a guy who was always chilling with him. You feel me? And he was always around a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he told me that he was about to really start taking rap serious, and you know what I'm saying, we should trying to build with me, you feel me?
Right.
So the guy who that ended up being though was Sada. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I shot one of his first videos ever, 2K17.
Okay.
Along with that, FMB DZ, you feel me? Got the shoe. But, like, I had to get back out there grinding, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't pull up, like, I can't tell, like, at that point, I was telling niggas I wanted, like, 500 for a video, 600, 700. But the channel gone, though. So, it's like, shit, my nigga, you about to shoot this bitch for free? You feel me? Like, yeah, I am. You feel me? Like, and pray that the ads on this bitch go up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And thankfully that wasn't a time where you had to pass this little threshold to get some money on YouTube.
Like now,
because that's some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Man, I'm telling you, dog, that shit's so fucked up.
So you have mastered to a degree, you know what I'm saying, YouTube as a money-making machine. Like you done seen it evolve to a degree. Yeah. And when one of the things you said at the very beginning when we started talking was you talked about how, you know, you were an influencer, but you really came up from the internet.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
There's a lot of people in Detroit and really all over the place that were still holding on to the old way of promotion, the old way of getting people out there, while you primarily use this medium in a way it was real strategic because you contributed to it getting in the hands of all these other people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. For
sure, man. I ain't gonna lie. I be feeling like, man, sometimes that's why I just keep working, man, because some people acknowledge it, man, and some people don't. Like, the whole Detroit scene would be completely different right now if it wasn't for the hip-hop rap, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, like, I was even debating with myself the other day, like, dog, you can't be like, man, I really gotta say it, cause like if you don't say it, you feel me, then you gonna try to take it out, then they're trying to take you out the history books, you feel me? Like man, I ain't gonna lie, like, you hip to Drago and Bino?
Yes.
You hip to Drago, you know, their first video that everyone crazy dropped on the hip hop web, which is a song called Hands On. I'm gonna hit the road. I got 2 stuffers. I dropped on my page. You feel me? One of those first. Eastside 80s, like Dexo Sama, they did an interview with me and said he felt like he had death on him and died a little bit after that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
RIP to him. Like, these are like big Detroit things, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like my channel getting deleted kind of probably contributed to, you know what I'm saying, a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, some of the class interviews I got, some of them I don't, but even since then, you know what I'm saying, I done made waves. Like, I couldn't even dwell on that shit. I done made waves, waves, constant waves with what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to everybody who, you know, for no matter which side of the, like we talked about earlier, no matter which side of the fence you may be on in terms of what you like or what you support. I mean, you're right. People do need to give you your flowers. And shout out to the artists that they believed in you. They, you know, chipped into you being willing to, and sometimes you had to do stuff for free or whatever, but the fact that they chose to deal with you is huge. You know what I'm saying?
On the flip side, though, majority of the artists, a lot of the artists, they hate to see what's going on though. Nah, though, as fucked up as that is, man. You feel me? They want you to stay a cameraman forever. They want Lando to be able to call and pull up and shoot and do whatever you need, whatever. Like, it's just come back to people want you to do good, but they don't want you to do better than them. You know what I'm saying? So once, you know what I'm saying, you get to do a little, it builds up a little animosity. That love ain't the same.
But you don't focus, but we don't focus on that.
We don't focus on that, but it's definitely something that you gotta pay attention to, you feel me? Cause shit, you feel me? Now you might try to come around me and, you feel me? Like, I ain't gonna lie. One of the biggest things that I had to just break myself out of, you feel me? And I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, take it left field or nothing like that, but it's survivor's remorse, you feel me? Can't help everybody. You know what I'm saying? You fuck around and get yourself killed. Nipsey Hussle, survivor's remorse, you feel me? I probably wouldn't do that. It's because I know how fucked up niggas is, you feel me? Survivor's remorse. Why is Nipsey Hussle in the hood at his story, you feel me? At that time. You still feel connected to these people. I want to show y'all something, you feel me? Show you that you can do this and show you that you can be that. And what happened, you feel me? One of the people that you having survivor remorse about in your community, I mean, that's the type of shit that end up happening, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta help motherfuckers from a distance. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, shit be so fucked up. Like, it shit be fucked up. Like, motherfuckers who I done been on my whole life, like, you didn't see me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it be different. Like, I genuinely, you know what I'm saying, remember from the bottom of my heart, like, you knowing that it was something different about me, though. You know what I'm saying? Like really believing in me back then, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I treated you, I can be honest with you and tell you, I mean, I treat all my kids with respect, but we knew, like Ms. Darn was talking about, we knew that it was something that was different about you, that you were going to use your ability to connect with people to come up. We knew. So I get it. I get it 100%. So I guess my question for you now is, you know, you knocking on 30 if you ain't 30 already.
Nah, hell no, I'm 25.
Well, you about to be knocking on 30, but you talk about the fact that Hip Hop Lab been around since 08. Yeah, that's 13 years.
But I couldn't give it that though. I say active of 14.
Okay, but still, so I guess for the people who are listening who are not in a position who see Lando and see there being a platform, no matter where they are, no matter whether they're young, no matter whether they're older, how do you think that they should go about carving their own lane for themselves to be successful in terms of making music?
Man, it depends on what side of the fence, as far as rapping or doing what I do.
Either.
Well, when it comes to rapping, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm about to, like, this is what I be charging for in my consultations, what I'm about to say right now. You gotta drop 3 videos a month for 6 months. It's automatically you gonna pop in Detroit. And you drop them on For Show magazine, which don't got nothing to do with the Hip Hop Lab, or you drop them on the Hip Hop Lab, you feel me? It's like automatic. You ever played Grand Theft Auto, Say That Dress? You remember how the code used to be a 1 or 2, left down, right up, you get all the guns on there.
Yeah, right.
Same thing with that. Like, it's a proven formula. Like I can name you like at least 30 people who didn't do what I just did, and they have a buzz in Detroit. Like, you be able to make money and be profitable dropping Detroit type music in the city. You feel me? That's the code. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I'm figuring out right now is how to break somebody to the industry. You feel me? But as far as that, like, that's what I know. Like, I know for a fact that's what it is. You feel me? Like, so consistency. Like, you can't drop like. A lot of people be trying to just, like, all right, I'm a new rapper. Like, in Detroit, people know this what you got to do, though. You go shoot a video with Public Hearing, man, you going to drop it on For Sure Mag or Hip Hop Lab. That's just the standard, you feel me? But if you're not in tune with what's going on, you just shoot a video with your mans and drop it on your YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? You dropping videos, you're not getting results. You putting yourself in front of your own people. You know what I'm saying? And that's it.
That's not where it works.
It ain't gonna pop like that. Or, I mean, it could, the right person might see it and you just end up going crazy. I mean, but that's like a shot in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Like a big shot in the dark. You know what I'm saying?
So as you transitioned over to more of the business side, the CEO side, really trying to make things happen, what have you found to be realities that people need to understand about coming up that way?
Man, a reality that people gotta understand is that a lot of people, like, in my DMs every day, like, the majority of the thing that's in my DM is, I need you to sign me. I want you to sign me. I need you to manage me. But if you don't have nothing to manage, it's like, how I'm a manager, you feel me? Like, it gotta make sense. You don't even want to manage you, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have shit going on. Like, a lot of people looking for investors. Like, first of all, you gotta know what are you looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got somebody who I manage right now, but he's not signing me, you feel me? He pays me every month to manage him, you know what I'm saying? That's my guy, but, like, that's how this shit really works, you feel me? Like, if you ain't got no buzz and nothing going on, like, and you gotta be willing to put money into yourself. Like, why would I put my money into yourself if you're not even willing to risk your money and put it into yourself?
That's a good point. Right. So, we went through all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And now you're a businessman, and now you're a father.
Yeah.
How did becoming a father change you? Like, how did it help you to see things differently?
It made me, I ain't gonna lie, like you see how I grew up, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? From seeing me in your class, like, I wasn't the most fortunate student, you know what I'm saying? Amen. So, like, one of the things that, like, kind of fucked me up, like, as soon as I got money, I just started going crazy with, like, shit I always wanted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just doing too much type shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a financial advisor and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And the type of relationship that we got, like, he'd be like, man, you gotta stop buying bullshit, man. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But having a son made me just, like, think about all the money that I was making and, like, what I need to do with it. You know what I mean? It made me, like, figure out how to let this shit still operate if something was to happen to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? And
thinking long term.
Yeah, just thinking long term all across the board, you feel me? Like, the best thing that happened to me, though, for sure, my son, I'm so grateful. Like, man, like, I don't know, I be feeling like, man, like me, I be needing, like, I feel like right before I had my son, I was getting too comfortable, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I just be needing shit to put the fire on my back sometimes, I feel like.
Kids center you. Yeah. Having kids kind of center you and make you kind of look around and say, okay, what makes sense and what don't? Yeah. You know, so I can keep moving. So that's deep. So for you, let's talk about what's up now. Like, what you talked a little bit about managing people. Yeah. I know that you've been kind of working on a podcast. Yeah. And I know you manage the Shitty Boys. Yeah. Right now, are you managing them or are they signed to you?
Well, a little bit of both. Okay. Like,
why them?
Well, when I first found out about them, like it's like a lot of people who got like real big respected names, like in Detroit, like in the music industry, like people was calling me like, look, bro, like you about to be wasting your time. Like, these niggas is terrible, bro. Like, no cap. Like, Lando, I love you, bro. I want to see you waste your money, my nigga. Like, this is like cartoon Nickelodeon, Disney Channel music, right, bro. Like, you feel me? You gonna fuck up your legacy, what you got going on? I'm like, my nigga, I ain't been wrong yet. Let me just do my thing.
Right. Let me tell you, do you remember that you DM'd me and said, look at this. what do you think about this?
I didn't until I just told to you just told me that. What did you tell me?
I was like,
I don't know.
you know, I mean, it fit for me, it fit the wave that you was on.
Yeah.
Like, it was still different than a lot of what you had done, but I could see where you saw it as being a profitable venture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember that conversation, and I was kind of like, that's different. Now that's mad different,
Man.
but they've gained a huge following.
Pandemonium, dog. Like, this shit is crazy, dog.
Wow.
I'm trying to tell you, dog. I thought I was getting some money before, dog. I'm telling you, dog. Shit.
And this is not necessarily, this took you from focusing around what was happening necessarily in the city and in the area to people catching on all over the place.
Man, hell yeah. But that was on accident, too. Because, like, I'm like, shit. I know these niggas gonna go crazy because, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a baby trying, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? He looks like he look like Justin Bieber, you feel me?
Right.
But he black. So that's right there. You expecting him to sound one way, then he fuck you up, you know what I'm saying? In the group dynamic, shitty boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's just all plays together, you know what I'm saying? Perfect. Man, you really blew my mind with that Miss Darden thing right there. I ain't gonna lie. You blew my mind with that.
I do my research,
like,
and I intend on throwing people off.
Man, she had us reading the bully and all that shit.
Absolutely. I told you, when you walk out of here, you're not gonna be the same. That's kind of the way that this works. So you managing, you know, you working with the Shitty Boys and you working on the podcast. What is like your end game? Like, what do you want to, like, what will the legacy of Lando be? What do you want that legacy to be? And I want you to claim it because just as much as this is a podcast, this is a historical document.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to live forever somewhere. I ain't going to be like you. I'm going to keep my shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be like you.
Man, dog, shit, man.
What is the legacy of Lando?
Man, the legacy of Lando going to be that I helped a lot of people get rich, and I helped a lot of people do what they love, make money off doing what they love.
Wow.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You didn't say, I want to have the biggest house, I want to do this. But the fact that you're interested in holding people first is huge. And it's evidence of the fact that you've grown up, but you haven't. You're still that same person. So let's talk about the college dropout. Okay? Now, what we do here at the Zero Noize podcast is I got to give you this.
What? Oh, man.
I got to give you that. I got to give you that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I got to give you that.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Just
that's
shout out to Underground Sound.
Ooh.
You know, we do support our local record stores. Now, I don't want you to play that. I want you to kind of like frame that. Keep it somewhere special.
No, I'm going to frame this for sure.
Just to kind of remind you of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's going to always be there. That's me and you right there.
Man.
Okay? Now, that came out February 10th, 2004. Oh, you good. February 10th, 2004. And like I said, I believe that you were a fifth grader in Mr. Davis's class.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this first. So, if it wasn't for the college dropout, fill in the blank. If it wasn't for the college drop, and this could be about you, or it could be about just the entire landscape of music, because you seem to be, you definitely well studied about the 2000s and up at least.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the college dropout, how would the landscape of music potentially be different?
Well, if I could finish the sentence, it wasn't for the college dropout, I wouldn't have had an idea. I wouldn't have thought it was possible. Like,
because he didn't go the customary way that he was supposed to go. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so many stories, like you know how hard it is. Like one of my biggest like fixtures in my life, like, is my granddaddy. And every time I'm going to, like, yeah, granddaddy, I'm doing this thing called the Hip Hop Lab. How much money you make today? Shit, a couple hundred. Oh, boy, that ain't no money. You're wasting your time, man. Go to college. Go get you a job. Go to school while you doing that. I'm just like, trust me, like, this is gonna work. Like, I'm shooting these videos, but like, I'm getting paid on the back end. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's $1 for 8,000 views. Like, I gotta get so many once I get 1 million. Like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear all that shit. If my mama damn near crying to me, begging me, like, I don't want to see you like everybody else. Like, don't waste your life talking these crazy dreams and music and shit. Man, I take care of my mama, man. She my number one cash app request. Man. Shout out to my mama.
Now let me say this before we go any further. The views expressed by Lando does not necessarily reflect mine. I am still in the business of education. I do believe that going to college, even when you went to KZoo, it was an opportunity for you to learn something about yourself. You know, and sometimes getting out, especially for kids that grew up the way that we grew up, it's important for you to get away from home, and have the ability to kind of find your way. And it, of course, obviously, I want people to finish college because I think it always gives you something to follow up on. I don't want you to finish college and be in debt like a mug. I definitely don't want that.
Man, but I ain't gonna lie. I know too many people.
We got a different philosophy.
Yeah, I know too many people who, like, too many of my peers. Like, that's how I was looking at it the whole time. Like, all right. Well, as soon as I came home from college, it was my freshman year. So I'm like, shit, by the time these niggas done with college, I gotta have some shit going on.
Right.
I ain't trying to have my people come back home from college and everybody up and I'm fucked up, still staying with my mama and shit. You know?
But you gotta admit that the situation that you in, you are somewhat of an exception to the rule too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta, I mean, and I'm not advocating one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not saying that you're wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I think for some people, college does not work. College is not for them. I understand that.
For sure.
And I think for other people, it's a pathway towards, at the very least, it's a pathway towards self-discovery.
Man, but I ain't gonna lie. One of the best skits on this CD is some shit that's still going on right now. What the fuck? Man, it's a one skit on here, he's like, yeah, Jimmy, my dad died, but you know, we don't have any money, but we got all these degrees. Like, I know so many people that, like, one of my mans, he got his highest degree you can get. Like, he been going to school forever.
Right.
Bro, making like $16 an hour.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like, why did I just waste all this time? And dude, like, you could have put all them years into your business and been popping. Whether it be t-shirts, whether it be rapping cars, whether it be selling plates, whether it be, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, if you gonna go to college, man, that's how I feel. If you ain't going to be no lawyer or no doctor, man, you gotta go get it out the mud, bro. Figure something out.
And we agree to disagree. And that's cool. That's cool. That's completely, I completely understand. So the album had a personal impact for you. And what I took away from it is just looking into, you know, you talked about people's pathway into the game being consistent in terms of putting visuals in people's face constantly, all the time. Yeah. And during that time, the ways and the methods that people got into the game was relatively standard. Like, people worked, they built a little buzz where they were, and then they got signed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about how one thing that I pulled out from looking at this was Kanye would not allow anybody to talk him out of what he thought he was supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
He was extremely persistent. And you talked about the same thing as well. Not necessarily trying to convince other people, but consistently convincing yourself that you was doing the right thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
So he came into the game by, you know, his beats got him in the door, and he was consistently like, I can rap. And
wasn't nobody trying to hear that shit.
And wasn't nobody trying to hear it because he wasn't talking, he wasn't Beanie Siegel, he wasn't Scarface, the same people that was rhyming on his beats, but he continued to believe in himself, and somebody ended up taking a chance on him. And I think about also the Blueprint, you know, being a part, playing a role in something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Is big too. Do you remember the Blueprint?
Yeah, the Jay-Z Blueprint, right? Yeah.
What was your joint on the Blueprint, by the way?
Man, on the Blueprint was H to the Izzo on the Blueprint?
H to the Izzo was on the Blueprint.
Yeah.
Renegade was on the Blueprint.
It had to be that.
There's a lot of joints on the Blueprint. Heart of the City, Never Change.
Heart of the City, Never Change. But I ain't gonna lie, I like my favorite Jay-Z album. I think it's the one right before that one though.
That would be, was that Dynasty?
It's the one with all good just a week ago on there.
Oh, that's volume 2, Hard Knock Life.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, I think about how like when y'all was in my class, I was playing instrumentals to all them joints in the background.
I don't know if you remember this.
What's that?
I don't know how good your memory is.
It's all right. I'm getting up there, but go shoot.
Literally the day that Can't Tell Me Nothing had came out, it was like a little, you know, when the website thing was coming out, it was like some type of like little blog site that the video was on. I don't know, you played it for everybody, but you played it for me for sure, and I was mind blown.
What?
Blown. I'm like, oh yeah, Kanye, the greatest. Like,
right.
I'm like, I can't wait for this album to come out. Like, you feel me? Like,
right. Well, that was graduation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was on graduation. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like, I felt like in order for me to make sure I stayed connected to my kids, I had to continue to stay up on it. I was the person that was getting the DJ for the spring fling and the fall ball. Shout out to DJ Incredible. I was up there doing it. I remember when we rapped, me and Mr. What was his name? Mr. Aaron. Me and Mr. Aaron rapped You Got to Chill by EPMD at the fall ball one year.
Classic.
So, but I felt like, and bruh, like to this day, I'm working on my PhD. While you talking about people, you know, in their advanced degree. I'm working on my PhD and I'm studying how teachers can use music technology and hip hop as pedagogy, as a teaching style, in order to be able to give kids transferable skills. Like a kid like you, if we started a label at DSLA and you not only was able to make music, but you learned about how to manage people. You learned about how to make money. You learned about how to market. You learned about, and the math and science that was involved, you might be further along than you are right now.
Yeah, real talk.
And you ain't even got to be a rapper, or you may have never blown up per se, but you learning. Yeah. And so that's why hip hop was so near and dear to me. I did want to talk about the fact that Kanye was part of a cadre of producers that rap. Now, it was producers that rap before him. Plenty. RZA, Lord Finesse, you know, Diamond D, all kinds of producers that rap. But looking at how producers, I want to get your input about producers now. Like producers who you deal with and operate with. I guess I want to really know two things. Like, what advice do you have for them to get their beats to people? And then how would you go about managing a producer?
Well, as far as managing a producer, like I would just get them placements with a lot of people that's hot, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? In my phone book, you know what I'm saying? And if the beat's hot enough, like niggas begging me for beats all day long, like literally everybody. Like they just think I got everything I gotta do with this shit, right? Which I do most of the time.
You a conduit, man. You like you a gatekeeper. To a degree for that scene, for sure.
So I say shit, man, sometimes it just be about getting in the right person DM, man, getting in the right email. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know about, like, I see where a lot of producers burn their bridges is like a nigga do they beat and then they just use the beat and the rapper would never acknowledge the producer or nothing. But then the first thing the producer do, they in their DM talking crazy, you feel me? Like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you up, you know. Like, all right, I just want to use your beat then, bro. You feel me? I just seen it happen a million times. Oh, the producer tripping. Oh, they want too much money. Oh, just get it remade. Like, you just, you know what I'm saying? You could at least have the credit and made more money. Like, that's people don't understand about doing stuff for free. You feel me? Like, it's a long haul with doing something for free. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, you did videos for free. You know people who did beats for free. Yeah, and you gotta do a lot of beats for free in order to be able to sell beats in a lot of situations.
But like the thing about me that's different between a lot of people that I came up like working with, like I don't let nobody around me work for free at all. Like you got to get paid something. You feel me? Yeah. Cause I know how it was me shooting the video from 1:00 p.m. to 3-4 o'clock in the morning and shit. I'm trying to find change in my car to get some coney before I go home. You feel me? Right. I've been shooting the video for a nigga all day and he got $100,000 out. You know what I'm saying? It's like this shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. So College Dropout was his first album, technically. I mean, he you know, but it took 4 years to make. It had records from, you know what I'm saying? I remember hearing early Kanye tapes and demos and mixtapes. What was your favorite record on College Dropout?
We Don't Care.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 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 Kanye had a lot of great singles on that project. My record was 2 Words. Because I think 2 Words for me was the bridge between Kanye being a different character in the game, you know, backpacker, a little bit on the less aggressive side and all that, with that other side of the game. Even though Mos Def and Freeway wasn't the most gangster dudes or whatever, that beat was hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And they did what they needed to do. And it took 4 years for him to record it. Like I said, this is kind of what got him signed. So for me, it was almost like, I mean, that album was principal. They went back and they changed things and they added strings. And he brought in, there was a singer. He brought in Saul Williams to do a poem. You know, he ended up having records with Jigga and Mos Def and Talib Kweli. So for me, other than those touch-ups that came out as part of the record, for me, I felt like Late Registration was really Kanye's first real record. Late Registration came out second. Which, for me, Late Registration is one of the best albums in hip-hop history.
Most definitely.
Because of how he used samples with other instrumentation, it was a lot of people that tried to do that after the fact. And it's a lot of I don't think without Late Registration, you wouldn't have a Kendrick Lamar. You wouldn't have that production style. Yeah. Whereas it's hip-hop based, but it's a lot of instrumentation in it as well. So it did represent a shift in the way that people thought. It talked about college, and I think that he represented the way a lot of people thought. You know, I think back in the days before you was born, it was a different world, and it was you know, there's a show called Different World, and HBCUs was real popular and pumping, and you know, college attendance started to go up in the 90s, and it kind of started peaking in the 2000s. But he did represent a fact that there was a lot of people that was intellectual and had skills, but they didn't finish college. Yeah. So sure. And they kind of went and they got it out the mud, as y'all folks say.
And this title, like College Dropout, like even saying that around it, like even me being a kid, like that's almost like blasphemy. Like boy, you cussing? Talking dropout? Fuck is you talking about? Like, man, that shit like unheard of. The first time that I ever heard this was in Miss Jones' music class. Me and Antoine was passing the CD player back and forth.
Okay.
And then my uncle had ended up buying it, and I was like, yeah, this shit crazy.
Absolutely. So a couple of other things. When you look at the cover, what do you think the cover represent? When you think about Kanye and you think about the rest of his career?
I feel like now looking at the cover, I feel like it represents like who he is, a loner, by myself. You know what I'm saying?
He a popular kid, well dressed and all that, but he by himself. He was the mascot at the school, right? Yeah. The mascot is the person that's the one that get everybody else moving, but at the end of the day, he by himself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a perfect representation of who he is, who he has become. And he's still going through all kinds of craziness.
Yeah, for sure. Got finessed by Kim, all type of shit.
Absolutely. I talked about, in my notes, I talked about arrogance. You know what I'm saying? He was arrogant, but he was intensely vulnerable. Like he was real sensitive. You know what I'm saying? He was real sensitive about his art, sensitive about his music, but he was known for telling people the real. If he didn't like it, he didn't like it. And he'd tell you. And you got to kind of have that perspective in business.
Nah, for real.
So I respect that. Jesus Walks was a game changer.
Definitely.
It might not have been a Christian record, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of told a lot of lines. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it raised his profile a great deal across the landscape of music because it told a lot of those lines. Part of the legacy of this album is his sampling style, the chipmunk soul, you know what I'm saying, using old soul samples and speeding them up. That's part of it. He got that from the RZA. He wasn't the first to do it, but he really took it to another angle. And I think that lastly, when it came to this, a couple last minute things. When he on that song Spaceship, when he said making a beat, make it 5 beats a day for 3 summers?
3 summers, yeah.
Or was it 3 beats a day for 5? No, 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
Yeah.
I've done studies, Lando, about producers and how like producers and their work ethic about making music, if you could put them in a position where they could apply that same work ethic to other things, be it photography, be it learning about business, be it learning about real estate, they'd be unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they making beats is like a freeing thing to them. And they understand that they can make 100 beats and one of them pop and 99 of them sit in a database or sit on the hard drive forever. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of walk into it with that understanding. And that's something that's deep when you think about it.
Yeah, no.
Because a lot of people would be done gave up. So shout out to the producers. You got Slow Jams that was on there as well. And I think too, this was a place where this album got a lot of critical acclaim, but it still had buzz in the streets.
Cause Slow Jams charted, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It had a lot of critical.
Well.
Right. It had a lot of critical acclaim from critics because of how vulnerable he was on it. And I'm all about people making music that illustrate who they are.
Yeah.
If you just making music about the same thing, it don't really appeal to me.
Some of the best songs of all time, Family Business, like one of the best songs of all time, No Cap, and the song with Jay-Z, Never Let Me Down.
Never Let Me Down.
Which crazy, but one of the worst songs, like not even just on here, just period, like dog, like man, they for sure could have kept this motherfucker off the CD. Breathe in, breathe out. That shit was trash.
Pull your sleeves.
Oh my god, that shit was trash.
The last thing that I wanted to talk about, it's ironic that you bring up Never Let Me Down. When my man said on the record, he said, cats think I'm delirious, but I'm so damn serious. That's why I expose my soul to the globe, the world. I'm trying to make it better for these little boys and girls. I'm not just another individual. My spirit is a part of this. That's why I get spiritual. He said, if I were on the highest cliff, on the highest rift, and if you slipped off the side and clinched onto your life in my grip, I would never, ever let you down. And Lando, you haven't let me down. You putting in the work. You doing what needs to be done. You're a man of conviction. You stand on your word. We've had other conversations that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
But you've stood on your word. We've disagreed about things.
Yeah, for sure.
But you stood on your word.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming to visit with me today. I love you to death. And I've told you I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, man. Real talk.
And I'm proud of you. And I'm just very thankful that you came to kick it today, man.
Man, I had to make it a priority. I ain't gonna lie. Like, man, I wanted to make sure that I came and pulled up. Man, I appreciate this. I appreciate you having me. And I appreciate you genuinely taking the interest in what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? And been taking interest in what I got going on.
Amen.
Means a lot for real.
Amen, man. So everybody that's out there, continue to support Lando from the Hip Hop Lab. What's your plugs? You got any plugs you want to do real quick?
It's Lando Hip Hop Lab. Make sure you you know what I'm saying, you can get at me on everything at the Hip Hop Lab, or spelled out the Hip Hop Lab. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
All right. So like, share, and subscribe.
Make sure you do that.
As always, YouTube, Zero Noize Podcast. You can also like, share, and subscribe at Grove Studios. It's on both platforms. Check it on Spotify. Check it on all your streaming platforms as well. We're going to keep pushing. My target is to do this, you know what I'm saying, rain, snow, sleet, or otherwise, consistently for a minute and see what happens. You know, I got a great team that's working with me. I love to talk about hip-hop. I love to talk to people. And until next time, support the artists and the artisans around you, because if the music stops, everything else does. Thanks to Max, Mind State Marketing,
Grove
Max? Studios, and we out. Peace.